It was supposed to be just another business trip heading from Chicago to New York, a quick hop over for a meeting that would keep me tied up for just a day or so. I was excited about getting some time away, even if it was just in a conference room, but what I didn't expect was the drama that was about to unfold in first class. Picture this, the first class cabin is buzzing with the quiet energy of travelers. You know the vibe, people settling into their plush seats, a glass of champagne being served, and the hum of conversation. Everything seemed normal as I took my place at seat 2A, ready to unwind before the flight took off. But soon a shadow fell over my little bubble of tranquility. Enter Jennifer, the flight attendant. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a huge supporter of the terrific work flight attendants do. But I'll never forget the look on her face when she stepped onto me, arms crossed, chin raised slightly, as if she was ready for a confrontation. "Excuse me, sir," she said, "I need to see your boarding pass." I wasn't alarmed at first. I mean, everybody has their job to do, right? So I handed over my ticket, albeit a little perplexed at the tone she had taken. "Here you go," I said, trying to keep it light. "I'm in 2A, just as my ticket says." But instead of a simple thank you, she scrutinized the document like she was hunting for a glitch in the matrix. "Are you sure you're supposed to be sitting here?" she pressed. Suddenly it felt like all eyes were on me. Other passengers stealing glances, some even reaching for their phones to record. The invasive vibe tinged the air, and I could sense the incredulity in her voice, the unspoken biases unwinding like a ribbon of tension. This wasn't just about a ticket anymore. There was something deeper brewing beneath the surface. I could feel my adrenaline kick in. "Look," I said, maintaining my composure, "maybe you should check with your system again. It's malfunctioning if it doesn't recognize my name." I'll admit I was initially calm, but inside anger was brewing. "I'm Marcus Williams, COO of Skyak Holdings. I've worked my way up in a world that often underestimates people like me. I thought about all the sleepless nights and the circumstances I'd risen above, and I refused to let anyone make a mockery of my hard work." As she continued to question me, I could see other passengers exchanging glances, murmurs rippling through the cabin. A woman even whispered to her husband as she pulled out her phone, clearly capturing this strange escalating scene. But why was Jennifer still pushing it? It was as if she were tapping into something personal, and that didn't sit well with me. Finally, I took a deep breath and decided it was time to clear the air. "Is there a problem here?" I asked, watching her face closely. I could feel the atmosphere shift. Should I call someone? Maybe I should call security, see if they know about Skyak Airlines and what I do there. And then just as I started to fish for my business card, things took a turn. She glanced at my face, then at my boarding pass again, but then the words left her lips, "I'm calling security." Incredulous, my heart raced. I stood up, filled with a mix of anger and defiance. "You know what? Call them. I'd love for you to call security." When the officers arrived, they seemed unsure of the situation. I took out my business card and handed it over. It read COO of Skyak Holdings in bold letters. The officers looked at each other, then back at me, their demeanor shifting from confrontational to respectful. They were suddenly all businesslike, tipping their hats to the serious nature of my presence. And I'll never forget the look on Jennifer's face as her cheeks blushed a deep crimson, her confidence visibly dissipating. With just a few words, I had flipped the narrative. "Maybe you should reconsider your approach." Next time, I told her, my voice calm but steady, as I motioned to security to escort her away. The tension shifted entirely, and the other passengers erupted in a mix of applause and murmurs, an unexpected show of support that I never saw coming. In the aftermath, things started to unravel for Jennifer and the crew. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was about accountability in the workplace. I didn't seek revenge, just change. I presented evidence to our board of directors on the discrimination I faced, pushing for policies that would improve company culture, employee training, accountability measures, you name it. Fast forward 3 months. I found myself on the same flight heading back to New York. The flight attendant on duty greeted me with a smile, warmth radiating from her as she said, "Welcome aboard, Mr. Williams. It's great to see you again." Just like that, I could feel the change, a genuine shift in treatment. This time there was a sense of belonging that I desperately longed for. But even as I settled in, sipping my drink and looking out at the clouds, I reflected on that fateful day. I didn't seek media attention or lawsuit settlements. To me, real change happens quietly through experiences, shared conversations opened. I wanted to reclaim that moment not as a victim, but as a catalyst for conversation, for empathy, and for understanding. So I leave you with this, my friends. Have you ever found yourself underestimated, misjudged, or just plain ignored? Maybe you've faced disrespect in spaces where you should have felt secure. Let's talk about it. In the comments below, I want to hear your experiences, your stories of resilience and triumph over bias. Because together we can foster a dialogue that challenges norms, creates change, and above all, leads to a better tomorrow.